Okay, so hello again. I'm doing my best to be genuine, and I want to do a list of things that show the things that really need to transform and hopefully will with this poison root that I carry, that I come from, that I am the seed of, that I represent, that I am the matrix, that I have within. And I'm excited because I've got counseling tomorrow morning. I look forward to that. I only have 24 free sessions. It is something that this city, I'm in the city of Denver, that's doing. And I grew up in Georgia. I actually am working on a blog post on what happened with Adriana Smith, the pregnant black girl slash woman. Uh, I'm working on something for the Essence Festival. And mainly I do blogging as like a form of expressive therapy. So I'm going through my individual ages to get to my current age from 0 to 39. And I'm on age 10 now, but because these things have kind of popped up out of nowhere, it's like I kind of had to address them because I'm connected to them, if that makes sense. And then I can continue with my age, my ages and stuff. So there's that. I also have to like when I finish this video, um, I have to like I need to like apply to another unjob and keep working on Act One, finding my intellectual self again and healing. So I hope this all works out, even if all of these things are just this really apocalyptic time period politically. It's if I don't know if you have read Parable of the Sower. Did I read that one? I don't know. Octavia Butler has a couple of different ones. Well, many different ones, but I think they're like the parable ones. I think she has either two or three. And one of them I read, it actually sounds like, it reminds me of what's happening right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the list. So the first thing is no relatives ever came to any of my functions. I had one, but I mentioned it in the other video before, but it was not like anything I really wanted. I mean, who wants like a person that brings like a mail order bride to your high school graduation? I mean, there's only one word for that, and that is gehehe, gehe to ho. You know, that is just no. You can take that gold tooth Brazilian, get her out of here. You too. Y'all both need to go. You know, I don't need a passport, bro. Before the passport bros, I don't need that. Okay, it is just so like I'm graduating the top 25% and I have this BS, like get out of here. Okay, so like then come my dance recitals, performances, graduations, piano recitals. Like they know nothing. I'm more of like a hearsay type of thing. I'm more of a spirit. I'm more of an entity with flesh. I'm not like a human or anything. I'm an entity with flesh and a pussy, like and boobs, and that's so I'm a semblance of a human, if you know what I mean. I'm a girl, maybe that's what it is. Okay, so the second thing, so nothing was affirmed. So like I'm not seeing my potential till later, and part of it is because there were not things affirmed. I actually might be the first in on my father's side as the girl to go to college because my grandmother didn't go to college for a very specific reason, and this is something for me in counseling that is not something that you can really share online, especially when it involves a whole set of other people you're related to. And there's more I could say too, because you shouldn't say on the phone that you dislike my mom, when I'm talking to you on the phone and my mom has passed away and I'm having to talk about these things that are kind of emblematic of a poison root. Even if there's nice things said simultaneously, you should never ever say that to a person's child. I should never say that to the child of someone unless that person has harmed them in some way and you have to be honest about a situation, you know? But if there's nothing that's been really done that's harmful, if anything, despite everything, my mom did her. I mean, it's one of those situations where doing your best really is not like an indictment. Is it like a negative thing? It's like she did her best with what she could do, and we all went to college. We all like there's things that have been proof that things she did a good job. So like if anything, what's the beef? Okay. So no acknowledgement of accomplishments. Nobody seems to know anything I've done or accomplished, and I have to like just say that to myself to feel like I'm worth something, because nobody said like good job to me, congratulations. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, niece. I'm proud of you, granddaughter. I don't even know the names of my African grandparents. And I don't have one grandparent on my father's side for a very specific reason, now that I know why. The other grandparent never said really good job. Instead, they said, oh, this person would be proud of you, instead of just saying, I'm proud of you. Poisoned root. Another thing, people wanted me to kind of like come into that area when I think when you look at kind of the things that I've been to relative to that, I feel like people would also say good job to being able to get further than what you're coming from. And rather than expect you to go back to something that is not like, doesn't have the same access or opportunity. I'll say it in that way. Next thing, I already said my dad didn't say happy birthday to me, but he, as intelligent as he is, and as much as there's been obvious influence on for me in an intellectual level anyway, and I do have good memories with him as a child in particular, so I end up having to face the fact of these things that have been positive, and then like maybe the overall kind of mess of things and unhealthiness of things, if that makes sense too, which really sucks. But another one, I had another example where, I was on the phone with another person, didn't just explicitly say when I said, oh yeah, I had my birthday, and somebody, the person that I'm working with dance-wise, had taken me to a dance shop to get some new point shoes. And they were like, oh, yeah, how was it? Instead of just saying, oh, happy belated birthday, you asked me how was my birthday. Like, this is what I mean. These mental strange odd things. Like, what's going on here? No, I'm gonna have to talk about it now. This is not okay. Okay, obviously I've started talking about abuse and incest, and trigger warning, I just don't have energy to go and delve deeply in this list. I'll get into that into individual posts. Not to mention that they still talk to each other. I shared with an African uncle, I shared with an African American uncle what my father did. Now, granted, my parents divorced when I was 12 or 15 officially. I think 12 separation, 15 official divorce. Now, and I also shared with my paternal grandmother, whose name, actually, I have my middle name. I don't even know if she knows that my middle name is named after her, quite honestly. I don't, like, it's just been so much mess where there's just been, I'm trying to figure out things. I'm not even saying everything online right now. But basically, do they still talk to my father after I shared with him what he did to me? How he had done the experience of abuse that I experienced that he did to me? Of course they do. Of course they still engage with him. In fact, my Nigerian uncle told me that I reminded him of Oprah Winfrey because of some of the things I expressed to him. And I hate that I'm like airing that out, but I don't really feel like this family system, I don't want to be the scapegoat anymore. I don't want to be an example of a scapegoat anymore. And so, yeah, if you're going to still engage with my father, then yeah, I'm going to engage with this energy and meet it where it is. Because now healing is going to begin, and it's going to impact all of us at this point. It's not going to just impact me. I'm going to air out things that's just trying to kill me and get me sick and put things on me because I'm supposed to represent the entity that can take on all of the sins of the father, essentially. Sins of this ancestry, this seemingly male ancestry. Maybe female ancestry somewhere, but I noticed this as being like a theme. I noticed the maleness as being a theme. Okay, so also there's no talk about sex or sexuality, but then there is the abuse factor, the sexual abuse factor. So that is really just jarring mentally. It's hard to deal with. That's another unhealthy thing. For example, when I was in middle school, a white girl helped me in middle school with learning how to use tampons. Stood outside in the bathroom as I tried to, use put the tampon in. Excuse TMI, like I wish that had been my mom. Okay, my father talked about my older siblings. They were his step siblings, technically speaking, not his biological children, but you married my mom, so you had a whole chance to be able to say, no, I don't want to date a person that has children already, but you've continued. So that is saying that you're okay with that. Many people are not, and I think that people understand, but when you continue, you can't have one foot on and one foot off at that point. And also how that impacted me in interacting with them, I have so much guilt about that as well. Again, that's why I say I am the matrix. I am the poisoned root. So there's more. All I want to say is that, and let me go ahead and just, end there. I would like Act 1 and Act 2 to come to fruition. And let me go. I have a lot of things I need to still get done in these less than 2 hours. And I'll go ahead and combine this, post this, and call it a day. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.